I want to take a moment to speak with you about BetterHelp, a sponsor of the Katrina Johnson Show. You know I'm big on inspiring people to live their best lives. But sometimes we need a little more than words of inspiration. When mental health interferes with your daily routine and lifestyle, you need someone to confide in that can help you with sorting through your emotions. That's exactly what BetterHelp is all about. It's professional therapy done securely online and is available to clients worldwide. With BetterHelp, you can get your needs assessed and be matched with your own licensed professional therapist. You can log into your account anytime and send a message to your therapist. You'll get timely and thoughtful responses. Plus, you can schedule weekly video or phone sessions so you won't have to sit in an uncomfortable waiting room as with traditional therapy. It's more affordable than traditional offline therapy, and financial aid is available. Remember, living your best life begins with taking care of your mental health. BetterHelp, a sponsor of the Katrina Johnson Show, wants you to start living a happier life today. Visit betterhelp.com/KJ Show. That's BetterHelp, HELP, and join the over 500,000 people taking charge of their mental health with the help of an experienced professional. And here is a special offer for the Katrina Johnson Show listeners. Get 10% off your first month at betterhelp.com/KJ Show. My guest, Kimberly Fallis, is a speaker, CEO of Level Up Academy, LLC, and certified life empowerment coach who is very passionate about empowering women to become relentless self-leaders of their lives by setting goals, changing their mindset, removing barriers, and crushing fear so they can level up and live the life they are so deserving of. Kimberly has a breadth of experience assisting federal employees with life-changing events via human resources and federal coaching programs. She's known as the Navigator because of her ability to direct and map out the necessary steps to transform the lives of her clients. Kimberly coaches from her own life-changing breakthrough experiences, along with the positive psychology approach. This has played an intricate part of her proven track record of transforming lives and careers. Kimberly holds a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Administration, a Master of Science degree in Human Resources Management, and a Positive Psychology Coaching Certificate from the CAP Institute under the tutelage of Valerie Burton. My special guest today is Kimberly Fallis. Kimberly, welcome to the show.
Well, hello, Katrina, and thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
I am excited for this interview as well. Thank you for taking time out to spend with us and to talk to us about leveling up, which is the title of the podcast, Level Up.
Awesome.
All right. So, in the book collaboration that you're a part of called Stuck is Not Your Story, Change is Possible, you have a chapter called From Stuck to Level Up. And in it, you wrote, not every plan works out or goes as planned. Speak about that a little bit, about a time when things didn't go as you planned, and what did you do to move forward?
Okay, sure. Well, in life, I look at life as you have to look at it from a different perspective. There are going to be several instances in life where things just don't work out. So you have to pull back and then assess, well, what just happened. So you look at it as lessons learned and not necessarily as something negative. Because if, as you know, in life we're going to have several setbacks and closed doors. But when you take a look at what are the lessons you've learned from that experience, it helps you to grow and it gives you a different perspective on life. So when doors are closed, what I do is I just thank God for every door that he has closed because he knows why it was closed. And in hindsight, I will find out later why it closed and I would appreciate it closing. But at the time, of course, when anything closes, it's not a good feeling because we're human. So it's going to sting, but we have to learn to just move forward. Look at it as a lesson learned and just keep going and trust God in all things.
Amen. Amen. That is so true. God will show up and he will show out. And it's a matter of keeping yourself focused and not losing hope. So let's talk a bit about closed doors. I think you mentioned that. I know that we've all experienced in life where one door will close and another one opens. And this is something you actually wrote about in the book. Let's talk about doors closing and opening in our lives.
So I've had some experiences with doors closed, and they weren't really a comfortable feeling. And I have so many examples, but not sure, I didn't necessarily highlight this in the book, but I had a door that closed. I was working for a company almost 7 years, never had a bad review. Nothing was going wrong until I got under a specific supervisor. And somehow we just did not have a personality. We had a personality conflict, I would say. But I don't believe that my work suffered. It wasn't anything different. But personality. So I went to HR to express that concern. They said nothing could happen unless something is documented. They had seen no documentation of anything negative since I was employed there. But nevertheless, things started to document. Oh, I asked Kimberly this. It didn't work. She told me she's working on it. So it became to get very, very stressful. So I said to God, hey, whatever happens and however you get me out of here, get me out, because I can't stand it. I can't take it. But I was not going to quit. So that door closed. And when the day happened, I knew, so, well, this must be it. I got a call from my supervisor from my director's office. Her name appeared on my LCD on my phone. And I thought, okay, this must be it. So I looked at that as a blessing, because I did ask God to release me, but sometimes how you release and how the door is closed, it's not always how you thought it would end out. God orders our steps and opens doors, but he also orders our stops. So when that happened, I took that as an opportunity to do some reflection. I used that time, not being employed, to go back to school. So I took that as a positive. Mm-hmm. It was a negative, because of course you have to have livelihood in order to live.
Right.
But I took, and it may seem cliche, and I keep harping on it and referring to, but I truly, truly do trust God with everything that I have. This happened when I was not a married person. I was single. So it's not like I had someone else I could lean on. So when I say I trust God, I'm speaking from actual experience and not saying, oh, she says that, but she probably had a husband. No, I had faith. Right. So I left.
Yes.
And I went back to school, and I finished my degree as an adult. So, again, it's perspective. Yes, it was a closed door, but what do you do to make the best of your time? Because God has given me time that I probably would have never had if this door wasn't closed.
Absolutely. And I think the main takeaway from that is that the difficulties you were facing on the job could have gone a whole different direction, meaning you could have really gotten upset and just walked out and quit and gave up. And earlier on, you said you were not going to quit. You could have not sought God and guidance and had that faith to believe that there was going to be another door open. It could have gone so many different directions, but it was your perspective, as you mentioned, that allowed you to stay there the duration of the time. And then when they decided to let you go, because you was looking for a way out, but trusting God to do it, your faith is what allowed you to leave there, I would say, gracefully, and then go on to pursue your education.
Perfectly said, because I that is exactly what happened. So my office mate, she was younger, and she says, when she was on me, she would come in the office and start on me, and my office mate could not even take it. This is how intense it was. she would turn around to her, my supervisor. We didn't have the same supervisor. We just shared an office. And say, well, she wasn't here. And she said to me one day, Kimberly, if I were you, I would quit. I said, oh, no. When you quit, you don't get unemployment. You don't get a severance. You're on your own.
Yes.
I was going to leave there the way God wanted me to leave there and to get paid to leave.
Yes.
I was not going to leave on my emotion.
Right.
Now, I'm human. Don't think I didn't want to just give up, but I'm not a quitter. So I even told her one day, her name was Dulce. I said, Dulce, when I leave here, you're going to think it's you, but it's going to be God. So I turned to her and I showed her my skin of this darker complexion. I said, I am built to endure, so please turn it up. Turn up the heat.
Wow. Wow. That's powerful right there. That is powerful.
So when I tell you, I believe God with everything in me, I mean it.
I believe
And I'm
you.
bold enough to say, honey, do what you have to do, and God will do what he needs to do.
That's right.
So fast forward, this is still on the same terms of a question you asked. But God says, Kimberly, I got you. I promise you, 2 weeks later, my coworker called and said, girl, we can meet for lunch anytime because we all will be leaving. The whole department is going to be laid off.
Wow.
So he said, I have your daughter. I'm going to get you out first.
Yes.
I called her back, my supervisor, and I found the most cheery voice I could find. It was my cheerleader voice. And I said to her, Dulce, I told you that you could not do things to God's children and think you will prosper. I understand you will not be employed as well, but I promise, and I pray that we're not in the same line together. And I hung up.
Yes. That's an awesome story, a story of victory, a story of faith. I love it. That is definitely inspiring to anyone that might be in that type of a situation. I also, and that, I think when you started, you had said you wasn't sure if that was something you mentioned in your chapter of the book, and it was because I read that. But
I have so many stories.
Yes.
I know that is one that sticks with me because I had to stand on great faith for that.
Yeah.
Because again, I wasn't married. I had a house to pay for. I had a house payment. But I was never afraid. Actually, when I left there that day, I went and I bought myself an outfit. I treated myself to breakfast, and I was a celebration.
There you go. There you go. I always say celebrate your accomplishments and your achievements, but hey, even celebrate what you don't see that's ahead, right? There's like a scripture in the Bible, call those things that be not as though they were. And it's not like you were calling something, but you were stepping out in faith as if you already had. Exactly. I love it. I love it. So in your chapter, you quoted Steve Jobs, and the quote goes like this: sometimes life hits you in the head with a brick. However, don't lose faith. Tell us about a time when your faith was tested and how you handled it. And we might have just discussed it, but maybe you said you have many stories. There might be another story you can share. And before you go into that, that is a quote that I love so much too, that I posted that like a couple years ago on my page. It's a powerful quote.
It is a profound quote. And it's true. It's definitely true. So because life, as I said before, life is going to throw at us all kind of things. But again, how do we look at that? Don't always look at something that comes at you as a negative.
Right.
I mean, we're human. I keep harping there because I don't want anyone to take away that, oh, she's superhuman and things don't bother her, but they do. But I'm allowed to have that emotion to feel, but I'm not allowed to waddle in that.
Well said.
Because that is what's going to keep you stuck. Feel the emotion, acknowledge the emotion, and move on.
100%.
Have your pity party. Have your day of just binging on ice cream and Netflix. But then after that, we have to decide, what do we do next?
I agree 100%. Like you said, we are all human. We do have these emotions. We cannot deny the emotions. And we know this is Mental Health Month. And
Yes.
you might have heard the passing of the young lady that took her life that was in college in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I don't know if you heard about
Yeah.
that. Yes, how sad is that? Because
Yes. So
life, like you said. I mean, like Steve Jobs says it well, that it
yes.
will hit us like a brick,
It was,
and
yes.
we have to learn how to deal with our emotions. And I know mental health is something now that people are discussing more. It was kind of a
Mm-hmm.
taboo at one time, especially in the Black community. So I
Yes.
think that it is a very good thing that is coming out more, because now people are seeing that it is okay to not be okay.
Be
We
okay.
all
That's
have
right.
those days. I've been there,
Of course.
but
We
like
all
you
do.
said, we can't stay there. And if we
No.
find that we are not able to get out of that
To
rut,
move.
then we need to
Mm-hmm.
seek some
Help.
help, therapy, or what have
Professional
you.
help.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So let's
I
talk
mean,
about,
it's got,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Faith is good, and of course we stand up. That's the foundation.
Right.
But faith with clinical psychologists, a therapist, it can take you to higher heights. So,
Absolutely.
there's no stigma, there's no judgment. You're seeking help so you can better help yourself and have the tools to do so.
Yes.
So, yeah, my faith has been tested. Yeah, we talked about that when I left the company. But, I've had another brief opportunity I can share about faith. I was in between a job at one point, and I made my education important to me as like number one. I needed to do it. And I know you're in California, and I was working for a outsourcing HR department that serviced the county of Orange.
Okay.
I'm on the East Coast, so their time zone, of course, is different, as you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when I accepted the position, it was with the intention of me getting off by a certain hour so I can go to class at night. When I started servicing the county of Orange, I had to be there when I'm supposed to be in class. So I decided this is not going to work for me. I'm going to have to leave this company because it's that important to me to finish, what I started.
Yes.
So I accepted another position, but when it came back, the position didn't start when they said it would. It was like another week. And I have already submitted my resignation. I don't have a job.
Oh, my.
Remember, when you resign, there's no unemployment.
I understand that. I work in HR too, by the way, so I do get that.
So, because I'm an HR specialist, so it's like, okay, you made this decision. Now this company is saying you can't start before X time. That's not going to work for me. I need to be employed. So we had revival at church that week, and I went to church that Sunday morning, and I said, okay, God, I'm going to give an offering. Later that afternoon, we had revival, and I said, well, Lord, in the midst of that, I did find the job did start, but I needed to wait for a paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
So I had money to get me to payday, gas, lunch. It was all strategically planned. But when I went back to church that day, I said, well, Lord, I gave this morning, and I'm not a grudging giver, but I really don't have it because it's pretty tight.
Yes.
So I said, I'm going to trust you, and I'm going to give. So I did, and I didn't think anything of it. So then that day was Monday. The next day, it was time to go to work. And I had a 3-bedroom house, so I have a closet in my own room, but I had a suit in another room. So I decided to go and get this suit. Why? I bypassed my room to another room. I pick up this suit. I hadn't had it on. Why does God tell me, or me thinking I want to even wear this suit?
Mm-hmm.
When I put that suit on, the same amount of money that I put in on that evening, he gave it back. He showed me where it was.
Yes.
So I just had a praise party.
Yes.
So you have to trust him. So when I gave it, and that wasn't grudgingly, but it was giving it with a concern.
Uh-huh.
But I trusted him.
Yes.
He says, and that's where he has shown me, no matter what, don't just trust me. I got you. Because I could have picked anything to wear.
Right. Absolutely.
And that suit was hanging there, and it had always had the money there.
Mm.
Why? I went to that room
Mm-hmm.
and was directed there because he wanted to show me in 24 hours that he had me.
And so you're saying that that suit had money?
Yes.
In the
same
pockets?
amount of money that in the pocket.
Oh, wow. Wow. Okay. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal.
Why
isn't
I
that something?
hollered and cried?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yes. That is so phenomenal. But you see, what I'm hearing, Kimberly, is you recognize God being your source.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't think a lot of people understand that. But when you gave that night in church, you were totally dependent on him. And that is what he wants us to do. And again, he showed up and showed out. I love it. I love it. That is a great faith story.
After I left that company that let me go, and I said, God, get me out. After that point, I've never placed a lot of credence or stake in working. I have to work because that's the source, but that's the vehicle in which God blesses me, but it's not the job.
Exactly.
So yes, I work. When I work, I do a great job, but when I leave there, I'm done. I'm not making. Sometimes we make our jobs our God,
yep.
and who we are is our job.
Yeah.
I'm Kimberly Silas, and I'm an HR specialist. Who cares?
Yes.
I mean, really.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I am not my job. I am Kimberly Silas before I was ever anything.
Amen.
So,
amen to
you
that.
have to put your focus on who you are and becoming who you are, so you can be the CEO of your life and not worry about being defined as I am an exit worker. That's not where I get my superpower.
Nope.
I really don't care, because that could be taken away, as you see, at any given time.
Absolutely.
So, but when you function in life as the CEO of your own life, that's how you really level yourself up.
Amen. Well said. All right. So I know in speaking with you, you definitely have leadership abilities. And in your going over your bio, I have discovered that you are a leader in helping women to level up their life. Tell us how that journey began.
Well, you may gather from my personality, I always want to see people win. So if you come to me with a negative, I'll say, Katrina, I understand that, but what do you think about this? Or how'd you feel about that? What did you learn from that? So I'm going to always try to encourage you to see the beauty or see something good in whatever happened. And let's see what we can do to springboard us to something different. That's always been who I am. So I've been coaching, mentoring, before I even understood what that really meant or even knew there was a term for it. So
I can relate to that. I just want to, before you continue on, as you're speaking, it's like you're speaking through me. Because I tell people all the time, I said, I'll say, if you say to me, my car is broken, now I've got to walk down the street to the store. My comeback to that is, well, be grateful you have the legs to walk. So I get it, Kimberly. That's innately in me. Just like you said, it's innately in you. So I get that. We're sisters from another mister, because I agree with you 100%. It's a natural thing for me to be on the positive and optimistic side. That's a gift.
Life will beat you up. You know what I mean? Life will beat you up, and if you don't have a strong comeback, and that's about being confident in who you are.
Yes.
Because if you're confident in who you are, you can't easily be shaken.
Absolutely. So your journey. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
So you don't give into that negative self-talk. So my journey as, into this coaching arena, like I said, I started before I even knew what it was. But in 2018, I really got serious about it. And I decided, you know what, it's a good time. I'm going to go and I'm going to do something for me. I'm always saying people should do and seek things that, they feel like they're called to do. So I enrolled in the CAP Institute with Valerie Burton. You may have seen some of the books she's written. She's been on Good Morning America. She's a well-renowned coach. So I went to Atlanta. It was an intensive weekend, 8 hours for 16 hours, 2 days, 8 hours, and then the third day, another half a day. So I decided that I was going to go and get some training to really pursue being a coach, to get the skill set for it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how that journey began. And then in 2020, when we had the pandemic, I thought, I can't use time as an excuse. I don't have time. We had nothing but time. We were stationary. We were indoors. That's when I launched Level Up Academy.
Wow.
I created my LLC and decided to move forward and being sort of like official. But the funny part about it, being official makes me really uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
If you're just saying, I'm helping you, Katrina, and we're willing and we're making plans, that's fine. But to call myself a coach, that makes me feel like I'm the expert.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a little scary.
Yes.
Because it's really something, as you said, that is innate. But when you define it, then people, I feel, have a different expectation. But
Right.
when you're just doing it, you're not really say that's what you're doing. And you see transformation, it's working. But when I say that, it's scary, to be honest.
Yes, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying with that. And as you mentioned, 2020, with the, what happened with the pandemic, it did force us to just look at life in a whole different view. A lot of people launched businesses and discovered their purpose, and that was the blessing behind that. And kudos to you for kicking that off. So I do know that you believe in empowering women to level up their lives, and that encompasses goal setting, as you mentioned in your bio, I believe. Share with us the importance of setting goals.
Sure. Well, I look at goal setting as like writing a vision, and if we want to be scriptural based, you say write the vision and make it plain. So when you write your goals out, there's a lot of things that are in our heads, but I think what's written gets done for me. So if you write them down, you can use that as your compass or your guide to help you really find your way.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a way of measuring how far you've come. So you can say, like a day today, you may not be feeling the greatest, like you haven't accomplished much. But if you go back to your list, because it's written, you can say, wow, really, I've done a lot. So goals help to keep us focused and keep our momentum in life. Our goals are going to be ever-changing.
Mm-hmm.
So when you have something written down, it's the way to measure, again, really your success.
Right.
Because without a goal that's written, you're kind of like lost. You're not focused, and you don't have a guide.
Right.
So I use that goal setting as sort of like the navigation system for life.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's something magical happens when you get it out of your head and put it down on paper. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So I know along with goal setting, you have to have a certain mindset. Describe the proper mindset a person should have in order to level up their life.
That is a good question. My opinion, and I truly stand on this, you must have a mindset of growth, because there is a fixed mindset and then there's a growth mindset. But
100%.
if you have a growth mindset, you're bound to succeed and level up your life. So with a growth mindset, you say that I always learn from my mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
You also say that I can improve with doing hard work,
Mm-hmm.
So it's not nothing magical that's going to happen, but you can always improve if you continue to do the work. Growth mindset, also one of the qualities of a person with a growth mindset is never giving up. Not seeing things half full, half empty. You're never going to give up. You're going to have challenges, roadblocks, setbacks. That's part of life. But you have to be determined to really just continue to be your best. Continue every day to be the best version of yourself every day.
Yes. Yes.
and do some self-reflection. You
Mm.
know, saying, again, those looking at those goals and say, you know what, I'm really moving forward. I may feel like I'm in a slump, but if I look at it, I really have made some strides.
Mm-hmm.
And you also continue to put the effort in the work. Train your brain. We have to just change our mindset and perspective on life. If you do that, you're bound to level up. Will you have setbacks? Will you have failures? Yes. We're going to continue to have that until we leave this earth. But
All right.
you have the growth mindset saying, you know, this was a mistake, but it was a lesson learned.
Yes. I love it. I
I'm not
love
where
it.
I want to be, but I'm going to continue to strive and work hard to get there.
I love it.
I'm determined, you know?
Mm.
And one of the things, also one of the qualities I think you should have is, you know, aligning yourself with like-minded people.
That's key.
And teaming up with people that have already achieved what you would like to achieve.
Yes.
I'm not saying you emulate, but you look at the qualities that they possess.
Right.
What did they do to take the steps to get there?
Right.
And that's how you grow. You have the growth mindset and you level yourself up.
Right. It's that continual pattern to, like you said, be the best version of yourself, which segues to this next question. What do you think are some of the barriers that hold people back from being the best version of themselves?
Confidence, believing that they can. Because again, if you are in a crowd or you have a circle of fixed mindset, friends, family, then you may not have the confidence to break out of that circle because no one else has done it. So you're like, well, can I? But if you know that you know and have that confidence, then you can move forward.
Mm-hmm.
Negative self-talk. I can't do that. I'm too old. Or that didn't work for Sue. Why would it work for me? That's negative self-talk.
Right.
Even the imposter syndrome. I should be over there by now. Oh my gosh, I've been doing this forever. I don't have 1,500 clients or I don't have 10,000 followers. But that doesn't mean that what you're doing is not effective or you're not getting transformation. Keep your eyes on your own paper and your own journey. Success looks differently for everyone.
I love it.
And the major barrier is fear. You fear of being successful. Because what could happen? What are you afraid of? Not succeeding? Well, you should be more fear of not trying and leaving this earth with something inside of you that you never even tried to cultivate.
Wow.
Do it afraid.
Do it afraid. Yes. Be scared, but do it anyways. It's kind of like the Cinderella syndrome, right? Afraid, but you do it anyways.
Anyway.
Right. And so, speaking of fear, what are some practical steps people can implement to overcome fear? We just said, do it.
Prayer, do it afraid. Just move forward. Even if you fail forward and fail trying.
Yeah.
You don't have the fear of it won't work. But if you go into it with the mindset of not working is not an option. Will I have detours? Yes. Roadblocks, all of that. But it's the option of it not working is not an option.
That's
Because
good.
you should not go into something with a plan B. It's a plan A and that's it.
That's good. That's really good. I know some people don't agree, that there should be a plan B. I do know that. I've wrestled with that myself, but I am also one, I don't give up on nothing. If I really truly want something, then I'm going to get it regardless.
Right.
Regardless, I'm going to get it.
There's still really no plan B. Because your A is that I want this.
Yes.
And the B is it's not going to be.
Right.
Because I'm going to make it happen.
Yes, that is so good. That is so good. Wow.
So you said fear, prayer. And I may have mentioned it earlier. Aligning yourself with those who've already gone before you. People who can or have already achieved it. So you can say, hey, how did you do that?
Right.
They've already gone before you. They can share just some nuggets that can give you some guidance or just a roadmap of how to get there. You don't have to do it exactly, but at least, if I wanted to start, someone came to me and they said they wanted to start an LLC. I'm not a business coach, but I can tell you what I did.
Yes.
And you can learn from that.
Yeah.
And then I could say, it's not that hard, but if you just open your mouth and share, you can't share it with everyone what you desire. We have to be so selective because everybody's not for you.
Mm-hmm.
But those who are genuinely willing to help, if you share, they don't mind dropping some nuggets on you to help, some gems to get you there.
Right. It's nothing like learning from someone that's already been through what you're going through.
Yes.
Yes. And
finding hope.
And hope. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Find hope and get you a coach to someone that can help you, or a mentor.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I love it. Well, I think you have given us a lot of information on how we can level up our lives. I appreciate all that you've shared with us today. In closing, what words of inspiration would you like to share with our listeners to help them level up?
Well, this is my simple mantra. Mindset matters, and when you change your mindset, you change your life.
Wow.
Because you have to remember, you are the CEO of your life. You have total control. It's in your hands. Your destiny is yours. You are the CEO.
Mm-mm.
You don't need any validation, or you don't have to give an explanation because you're the controller of your own life. You are a CEO. If you have that CEO and growth mindset, remember your mindset matters. Thinking keeps you stuck.
100%. I love it. Well, I hope you listeners got something out of that. That was some powerful information, inspiration. And Kimberly, let us know how people can find more out about you, where to purchase your book, Stuck is Not Your Story, Change is Possible, and how to connect with Level Up Academy.
Sure. Thank you so much. Like I said, I have thoroughly enjoyed having this, I call it a conversation.
Yes.
And just being here with a kindred spirit, it's been a pleasure. You can keep up with me by going to my website, levelupwithkimberlyfallis.com. If you're interested in purchasing the book, it's Stuck Is Not Your Story, all one word. Stuck Is Not Your Story, the book.com, and / my name, Kimberly-Fallis. That goes directly to my landing page, and you can purchase the book there. It'll be autographed. I'll send it. If you are wanting to follow me on social media, it's my name, Kimberly Fallis, on Facebook. It's Kimberly Fallis on LinkedIn, Kimberly Fallis on Instagram, and I do have a Facebook business page, Level Up Academy. If you're looking for a coach or just looking to get to the next level, you have a small goal you want to achieve, you want to work with me for a 30-day window so we can set up a strategic plan, I'm more than happy to help you with that because you are the CEO of your life and you are in total control.
Well, thank you so much, Kimberly. So we are all walking away today knowing we are CEOs of our lives, and please be inspired to level up. Thank you again, Kimberly. It was such a pleasure having you. You are so welcome.
Have a great one. Thank you.
Alrighty. Let's keep the conversation going by emailing me at katrina@katrinajohnson.online. That's katrina@katrinajohnson.online. So grateful that you joined me on this episode. Remember, information plus inspiration equals transformation. And until next time, stay inspired.